Good morning, everyone. I thank you very much for your attendance here, because many people just go outside for
Still have
sightseeing.
coffee.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, I hope you can learn something from my presentation. And you know, immunotherapy possibly is one of the most promising approaches in the cancer treatment. And you know, cancer treatment or immunotherapy, so we need Th1 or cellular immune response to kill cancer cells. In most cases, we use nanoparticles. In most cases, promote Th2 immune response. So can we modify nanoparticles or carry something else to bias the immune response from Th2 to Th1? And so my research, we use hydroxide nanoparticles to try to kill this immune response. So in this talk, I will show 5 parts. So quickly introduce a background and the experimental methods we use, and mainly the results and discussion, and finally the conclusions and with acknowledgements. And you know, there's quite some challenges for anti-cancer vaccines. Normally, we use purified proteins as a vaccine, and this vaccine normally have a low immune response or immunogenicity. So the first question is, can we enhance the immune response for the pure anti-tumor vaccines? And secondly, we not use some other ligands to stimulate immune cells to have a high response. So the first one is for specific antibody response, and second is for home, for non-specific immune response. So this, our research is to try to use some vaccine adjuvants to regulate and enhance the immune response. And you know, in the market, there are few vaccine adjuvants are used. So here we list 3, the oil in water, emulsion, and also MPLA, as well as helium adjuvants. This is formulations to basically just simply mix with a vaccine and then deliver. So this, anyway, it's just some experiment, empirical product that use adjuvants. However, there's some limitations, because this oil in water emulsion made from shark oil, so that the resources limited. And also this MPLA production is require a long fermentation process, so this quite high production cost. Helium is easy to make, however, there's a very strong inflammatory reactions in injecting the body. And also we often know there's a PLA, also similar like oil in water emulsions. So this is often used as some vaccine adjuvants. So in these adjuvants also have some advantage. Say this is very simple. You just add, mix, and then inject. So this is a simple formulation. And also this is very empirical. However, how this vaccine and adjuvants interact, we don't know. And how adjuvants interact, and then interact with APC cells, nobody knows clearly. So people probably just guess, oh, this possibly happen. So our question is, can we clearly know antigen adjuvants interaction and design specific nanoparticles to enhance the immune response? Actually, in the market, there's quite a lot of research using nanoparticles like polystyrene, PLAG, and also silicon nanoparticles as adjuvants to carry some specific vaccine or antigen. to do similar work. So in our research, we try to use clay nanoparticles. This clay is very easily get and very cheap. On the other hand, there's also a lot of immunostimulatory biomolecules, or just some ligands. This is relevant to the cell recognition patterns receptors. So, for example, there's a toll-like receptor. There's quite a lot on the cell surface, a lot of receptors. So we can use some specific ligands to stimulate this receptor to enhance some non-specific immune response. So these ligands many people use to stimulate, to tier the immune response, say from Th1 to Th2 or Th2 to Th1. And in our research, because we say we need Th1 immune response, so we use a toll-like receptor 9 as our target to stimulate immune response anti-cancer, against cancers. So as you know, this TLR9 ligand is a CPG, is a gene materials. So this is a gene materials and can promote Th1 response. That's why we choose it. And also this interaction, CPG, is occurs in endosome with endosome receptors. So these two properties, however, it's quite low efficacy. So it's easily degraded, These are gene materials. And also it's electric charge, so not easily to take up by the cells, as well as in the endosome. So combine these two vaccine as well as CPG. So vaccine help us to produce some specific antibody response, and CPG can enhance the overall level. So can we combine these in a designed nanoparticle system to enhance the immune response? So we use our nanoparticles, nanoparticle nanoparticles. So simply say, nanoparticle nanoparticles in structure is similar to brucide, magnesium hydroxide. So this is a magnesium hydroxide sheet. So in each octahedral, there's one magnesium, and the 6 tops is a hydroxide group. So they share edge and form a 2-dimensional sheets. So this is a charged neuron. And if magnesium replaced by aluminum, so that octahedral become a positive charge. And so an ions and water molecules will absorb and then form a sandwich-like structure. So if more layers come together, they form a 3-dimensional crystals. Of course, surface also some charge, positive charge, and absorb some ion and water molecules. Of course, this very interesting properties is an ion exchange property. So any ion, like a gene materials, you can exchange and load onto the particles. So CPG can naturally absorb on the surface or intercalate into the between layers. Okay, so this is the basic the particles we use to carry vaccine as well as a CPG. So this is our strategy to design the particle to load the model antigen, the overlapping, and also we carry CPG over A. Normally it's absorbed on surface. These are proteins, So that the protein is electric charge and also positive charge. So this actually is a very strong absorb on surface through the electrostatic interaction. A lot of positive carboxylate group absorb on the particle surface. So these are multiple interaction. And suppose some positive amino group just external to the aqueous surface, aqueous solution. And CPG, we say this is a gene material, is electric charge. So it can easily absorb on the surface as well as an intercalate in the interlayers. And these materials we find, of course, this make is very easy, and also very low toxicity to many mammalian cells. And these layered hydroxide materials actually is anti-ulcer drugs, and also in the market we use for the stomach disease. So this is very well biocompatible. And in our other research, we show that these particles can easily take up by many cells. It's a very high efficient delivery agent. So our hypothesis is like this. So LLC nanoparticles carry the modern vaccine as well as CPG. So these will deliver the particles into the cells, APC cells, in endosome. So the TRRI will interact with the receptor. So this will stimulate the interference gamma production, so can enhance immune response. So this is pathway A, we thought. So this either interact here to stimulate, or just when the endosome broke, so that's also interact with some TRI9, so stimulate there. Of course, the over A antigen also released into cytoplasm, and then chopped into the epitope, and then presents on cell surface. So we think these nanoparticles have two functions, right? To carry CPG as well as a vaccine, to stimulate specific and non-specific immune response. So this is our hypothesis. So next we start do some, of course we prepare nanoparticles and then mix them and then to do some injection. So we have two injections. One is day 0 and the boost at the day 3 weeks later. And after another 2 weeks, and then we get the blood to test the antibody level. At the same time, we also inoculate some B16 melanoma to the cells, to the mice, and see how quickly this tumor grow during the next subsequent days. So here is some results. So first is the nanoparticles. So we see here the nanoparticles are very normal, mono-dispersed. So these are about 100 nanometers. And then we can see this is a hexagonal shape. It's a shape like a book, but it's a hexagonal. So the vaccine and the CPG absorb on the surface or in the clay, into the interlay. So this can carry vaccine and CPG. And first we test absorption of over A onto these nanoparticles. So this is an isotherm absorption curve. So, and different concentration of a vaccine, and then we see how much absorbed on the particles. And here we show that the maximum absorption amount is about 6% weight increase. So that means 1 milligram LDH nanoparticles can almost absorb 0.6 milligram over A, the protein. So these are quite a large carry amount. In our practice injection, we normally use say 480 microgram LDH and 60 microgram over A. So the weight ratio is 1 to 8. Actually, just corresponding to these 2 points. 1 point is here, is a 240 is here. And then this is 6.8. Anyway, you see this point. So there's you can know there's almost no free OVA in solution. Almost all OVA absorbed on the particles. And then we test the CPG's absorption. So here, this is proteins resting. You see here. So this over 8 is a free band here, but if you see the last column, you didn't see this band. That means over 8 all absorbed onto the particles. Similarly for the CPG, so this is a free CPG, and in the last column, you cannot see anything. That means CPG also absorb on the surface or accumulate into one particles, right? So this is antibody response. So we test IgG8. And if you see here, over 8, very low immune response, right? This is a pure vaccine. If you use an LDH, you can see this is an increase, immune response increase significantly. If no CPG, that's increased a lot, 2 or 3 times higher antibody level. Compared to the allium, it seems that allium promote a higher level of antibody response. So for IgG1, as I just mentioned, allium actually generate a very high inflammatory reactions to the mice. And however, for the other antibody, like IgG2, you can see in all other cases, the IgG2A levels is very similar. Only for CPG, in allium and LH case, they produce quite high levels. So people think IgG2A actually is reflecting the Th1 immune response. If we calculate the ratio IgG2A and IgG1, that ratio normally represents Th1 based or Th2 based. The higher ratios, the higher Th1 predominant. So here, in all other cases, we see the ratio is very similar. So this is actually Th2 based immune response. Only in this case, in LDH, CPG, over 8 case, we see this is a Th1 based immune response. So we achieve the transfection from Th2 to Th1, the transformation. And also we have some slides for cancer tissues, for tumor tissues, and see how specific lymphocytes are around or not. So in OVA, LDH OVA and a lot control case, we didn't see not much CD8 lymphocytes, but only in the CDG LDH OVA case, we see a lot of specific cancer cells, T cells against cancer. Of course, we also measure the tumor size growth along time. Overall, so CPG, LDH, OVA, this case prohibit tumor growth to some degree, but not so significant compared with other case. So either for OVA or OVA CPG case. The reason possibly quite complicated because we use a model, this model, P16 OVA model, it's a cell model, cancer cell model. Possibly not so perfect. OVA expression of these cells possibly not permanent, just transient, just a short term on the cell surface. The other reason is possibly is that we use just 5 mice, so the number seems quite low. So recently we tried enhance the number to 8 to 10, and also use other cell models and see can we prohibit the tumor growth to a significant degree. So this work already published in Materials Journal in last years. Okay, in conclusion, so LDH nanoparticles can carry a high amount of antigen as well as TRI ligands. And secondly, LDH as an adjuvant can induce a specific immune response to the model antigen. And finally, so conjugated of OVA and CpG together can induce a switch from a TH2 immune response to TH1 immune response. So I would like to thank our organizations, UQ, AIDN, and our center, as well as financial support from ARC and UQ. Also our collaborator, Dr. Barbara and the user. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Professor Chin. Any question from the audience? Yes, please.
How do you know if your particles are not still there? When you, can you go back to the tumor size? Yeah, no? Okay. Right. Yeah. Have you tried staying for your antigen in this scenario and see where it is? Because to be honest, I'm surprised about the compromised reaction you get. You would expect that an immune reaction would actually eliminate the cancer, not just stop it. So maybe your antibodies are still titrated up by your nanoparticles.
There's more details work still going on. So, I mean, if these results not so, excellent, we so we are not going to so deep to understand. So we did say, see these results is good enough, and then we will do more details investigation.
Okay. Any other questions? Professor Chin, maybe I got one question for you. And using your LDH double hydroxide, right? In conjugation with the CpG, you mentioned it can cause a polarization, right, from TH2 to TH1, right?
Yes.
So you based on the antibody measurement, IgG2A and IgG1. Yes. Have you ever measured the cytokines TH1 and TH2 to make sure this is an actual polarization?
Yeah, we measured at day 21 after the second injection, but because the number of cells we collect, just 2 or 3, so the results seems not so significant to show that data. And that is not so conclusive. Because the number is too small.
But can you isolate the lymphocyte or spirocyte from the immunized mice, and then we stimulate with the antigen, and then look at the supernatant? There should be plenty of cells in the immunized mice, isn't it?
Yes, that can also done. We are planning to do that.
Okay, thank you very much.